Sala Comunitaria, Community Newsroom. I go by the name of Muteado Silencio. Just real quick, what is Sport Magazine? I think that's one of the things that I was supposed to talk about. And welcome to the new folks who are here for the first time. Community Newsroom is basically where we invite our folks to come and speak on what's happening in the community. And what is Poor Magazine? I think that you actually are seeing what is Poor Magazine. It's a poor people led, indigenous people led, multiracial, multi ethnicity, multicultural. Again, it's us, the community. Um, and yes, just happy to be here. Also, happy to, after so many months, be able to write down in a piece of paper a little bit of poetry. You know, as yes, as people in struggle, just dealing with our own, personal struggles, it's even hard, like my sister Tanya was saying, to find that time to be able to do our writing. And just hearing the brother right here, we all of us who done a little bit of writing, even if it's just poetry, verses, we know there's healing behind it. And so I'm glad that as early in the day I was able to say it right here with my fellow poverty scholars and get that healing going again. That a lot of the times, I don't even take the time to do that. So really blessed, to be here. Again, this is Sala Comunitaria, Community Newsroom, and just happy to be here. And it's a blessing to have, here, Homefulness, which is literally a place built by us, by poor folks, by houseless people, by people, by clients, right? All the names and the labels they put on us. And then I'm supposed to pass this mic to my sister Quinande. Okay, I got it right.
Say a little bit about homefulness, huh?
Come on, Bree.
Homefulness. That's the solution to homelessness.
Oh.
That's what it is. I want to say I shaded my great grandfather Andrew McDuffie, who, because in Texas he had a homeless. He had land. Folks come and make a dream work, but that's what homefulness is. Homefulness is, you can see what's going on, and they're always, every single year, every single election, voting on housing, but you don't never see nobody voting the house for folks. You just say vote on rent increase and rope the stock this, but what about voting on house for folks? And planting fruit trees all over the place too, so when people are hungry, they can just pick and eat. So, that's what they people housing themselves when us poor people are tired of having the anxiety attack of filling out 357-page leases.
Say that.
Prove your income.
And improve your income if you have any. If you don't, and in some places it's 20 times. Like in Manhattan, they want like 20 times the amount. So that's kind of ridiculous just for basic stuff that God gave us. So no one, it's we can be sad and feel depressed, oppressed. Really, that's oppression that puts us in depression. I know that's where my depression come from, that oppression and injustice.
That's right.
That's where mine come from. But they don't have no solutions for us. So we have solutions for ourselves. Because nobody know what is best for us but us. See, it's so easy to dictate because they dictate our destiny because they get them grant dollars. So of course you gotta write a nice little proposal. Where what about the proposal of life and respecting life and respecting human beings and I'm gonna stop saying human beings. I don't believe everybody's human in this world that we live in. I think we got a couple of humans, the anthropoids, Nubians. It's all kind of and I'm going by the spirit, but. That's what homefulness is. And the family coming together, because it's not about just building the houses but growing the food. That'll save you a ton of money. And I need an apple right now. Go get me an apple off that tree real quick. That's what it's all about. And it didn't take for me to go to Cambodia and I had to see some serious poverty that make the ghetto look nice. And every day these kids I seen the poverty, or they're in the filthy, dusty, hot mud. But they was able, they went hungry. They had the papaya tree, they had the coconut tree, they had the mango tree by my friend's house. We just picking and eating. But it helped me to humble myself Cause my mother always said, don't be materialistic because you'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. So I know how to put myself in other people's shoes, so to speak, you know what I'm saying? So I got down there with that poverty. You know, every day them kids see me on my patio, they all wave and stuff. Because the poverty is real. You know, and it's too much, and it's too much wealth hoarding. They ain't talking about hoarders, oh, you nasty, you hoarded, and you got this now. People, they talking about the people that got too much junk or furniture or memorabilia. But what about the wealth? What about the people that actually have rooms filled with money like that? That's just got all this massive wealth hoarding. You know, that kills too. And that's why us as poor folks, I say temporary poor folks. That's why we come together to build our own housing, grow our own food, school our own children.
There you go.
Because when we put that in somebody else's hands, they always misguide us. And then want to kill us when we say that you misguide us. You give us no justice. You give us no housing. You give us no good, healthy food. Then you want to kill us. You want to judge the black man, but you kill the good black man of America. You want to say good black men are the ones that so-called made it. That means you dictated our destiny to be doomed before we even came out the womb. When you come with that term, we made it. But the brothers like Malcolm X, you know, when people do speak up, Asada Shakur, they tell the truth and things like that. What they got a target on. That's why it's time for us poor people to come together and do homelessness everywhere all across the world. We need a homelessness all across the world because there's beautiful, poor, conscious folks all across the world. And we connect them dots like that. That's what they call the Black Planet. That's what they call it. So, you know, that's what it's just about us taking care of ourselves. They always tell them to put the stigma on us. We just want to sit on our assets and beg for handouts. I don't want anything from you because you're telling me what to do. I'd rather earn it and take care of what I need to take care of because I'm an adult. I'd rather earn that and still be treated like I don't have a tail on me. See, that's what's wrong with society, the housing, welfare, SSI, whatever. They want to treat us like they're doing us a favor. You're not doing us a favor. You're not doing
that's our money.
You know what I'm saying? You're not, yeah. Give what's owed, because when the shoe is on the other foot, they hunt us down like dogs. But that's all we need. That's a solution to the homelessness. You know, people, what we're going to do about the homeless, we're going to do, first of all, we need to lock y'all up for making them homeless in the first place. That should be the crime, not being homeless.
Thank you.
You should be shamed. Your nation should be shamed. You shouldn't want that to be on the TV. Ooh, you let your citizens go homeless? To me, that's something shameful. If I was a ruler of a country, wherever, I would hang my head down low. Be like, I ain't did enough for my citizens, but I want their money and all that. Because, you know, I'm a human. I was raised with a conscience. You know, but enough of that, because, you know, we can preach all night. But that's what, but see, that's what homefulness, that's what it is. It's a whole component of things. Of us poor and oppressed people of color, as women or men, the mamas and papas and elders. They throwing our elders out on the street and they die. And they throwing the children out on the street. But child have to sleep in the car. That's child abuse. That's what it is. And they want $1 million for an apartment. We looking at them. They right down the street from your house in San Francisco. They want $1 million for an apartment. You walk in and do one complete circle. You done seen the whole damn house. $1 million?
The view of the brick wall next door.
Yeah, I don't even think it's made of brick. I think it's drywall. You know, so, you know, enough with this greed. The greed and the roboticism, I call it. The robot, because, you know, you seen that commercial funny, that progressive commercial, the boy got the thing, you know, he's up there doing that. Yeah, we do look stupid doing that virtual stuff. Y'all kids stop that. I don't know. But, you know, yeah, that whole concept makes lazy, wealth-hoarding individuals. And if that's all that this country wants to produce, well, we feel sorry for this country then. You know, so, but just house the people.
All right.
House the people.
I'm gonna sit here just so I can be close.
Put that behind me.
Oh,
I
sorry.
usually sit in the window.
Sorry, no problem. Okay, so what's Community Newsroom? That's what we out right now. First of all, welcome to all the new folk. Welcome to all of our beautiful family, our 7 generations still to come. our handsome brother here in the red shoes, who is definitely the most handsome boy in the room. Just saying. So Newsroom is us poor people taking back those media channels, because just like my sister Nandi said about the way these colonizers and politricksters be throwing us a crumb, we fill out the 51-page proof of income forms to get their crumb. The other thing is that media continues to be about us without us. It continues to be written by the middle class media journalists and who come out of the institutions who, as like my mama said, ain't never missed a meal. So it's extremely important for us as poor folks, as houseless folks, as migrante, as formerly incarcerated people, to actually write our own stories and to lead our own perspectives, right? We have a lot of things we call research, poor people-led research, not academic pimped research. And it's really important to put these stories out at this time, because one of the things that's happening is there's also a change happening. We are in such a horrible time with this Trumpaclan weirdness and a sci-fi horror movie called Americlan, that we're also in a time of things opening up, right? And that's the interesting piece, right? And so it is very powerful what we're doing in this room. It is very powerful that our brothers and sisters from Huichin, Berkeley are here telling their own stories. We're trying to build a Homefulness 2 over there. It's very powerful for us to actually promote a different decolonized view that has everything to do with what our ancestors set us up with, and not what these colonizer politricksters are trying to sell us. We don't believe that Mother Earth should be bought and sold, pimped and played. We are actually legally and spiritually taking this small piece of Mother Earth off the real estate snaking market. When we say liberating and we connect ourselves with landless peoples movements all over the earth, it's because we don't believe that we should own property. That is not the answer. There is a finite amount of Mama Earth, and that's not the way for us to all share it, right? So anyway, all that to say, the media is very important, the art and the education piece. So this is Newsroom. We're the Poor People's Editorial Board. Even if it's your first time here, what we do is we talk about a story that we're going to do, an action, an event, and then the whole group says, is that a Poor Magazine story? And you're like, oh, I've never been here. I don't know if it's a Poor Magazine story. If it's about struggle, poverty, incarceration, racism, or this stolen state, it's a Poor Magazine story. And if you're not CHU, that's okay too. The other thing is that this is also the nexus, if it's your first time here, our orientation, so that you know about all the other things that we're doing. So we're bumping a radio station here, KEXU, and it's going to be, we're on the air, 96.1 FM, and we're also streaming live on PNN radio. And that we also, interestingly enough, we're also in the process right now of trying to build the rest of these mama houses. And it's a big thing because we don't have enough bloodstained dollars. Yes, I did say bloodstained dollars. But we're lucky and blessed and able to work with folks who come from wealth hoarders. As Mama Nani talked about, and we talk about all the time. Us poor people are called hoarder clutterers all the time. Who's the real hoarder and clutterers? The people with the 5 Jaguars and the 3 condos? I call that hoarding and cluttering, right? Right. So we're going to have a Stolen Land Hoarded Resources tour in Oakland on October 19th. The whole school's going to be there. All of us are going to be there. We hope everybody listening is going to be there and watching. But it's about us walking into those wealth hoarded neighborhoods and giving them the medicine of redistribution. But anyway, before we get around all that, I want to just bump the work that we're doing right now and find out who's in the room. So we start with the thing we call bio news, which tells you a little bit about who we are. You don't have to drop a verse in poetry. Just one line about who you are, your struggle, and where you're located, right? And I'm going to turn it to my brother Moot because he has a special poetic verse that he loves to do.
I think I should have told you first by now.
Hi, hello.
Zion and Irish, you're not out the game, fam.
I guess I retired.
Whatever. She's
Retired.
she's what she's retired of.
I did.
Okay, wait. Let Brother Moot go. Before you guys be fighting.
There we go.
This is Muteado silencio presente y me alegro. Mis palabras son mis balas. Mi lápiz es mi arma. Muteado silencio. My words are my bullets. My pen is my gun. So sit back and relax, cause we're gonna drive by your minds. That's Santiago. I'm a poet, like I said. I'm a janitor by day and a poet by night. I'm just happy to be here amongst badass revolutionaries, poets, MCs, community activists, community organizers, babies, four-legged relatives, and everybody and beyond.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Woo! Come on, Zion. You got this, babe.
Come on, Saya. You didn't even see.
Did we pull it out? We might have.
Oh, there it is.
It's not on.
Y'all did not.
Sorry.
My name is Zion Angeles, and I'm one of the youth scholars from Decolonize Academy.
Whoop whoop.
There you go.
There we go.
You scholar.
The baby.
You the
What's the baby name?
Siri, you might say something.
His soul was ready to spit a piece. He's like,
No, I think
or eat it, but you know, one or the other. It's all good.
Okay, hello. My name is Iris, and this is my baby brother, Blessing. And I am the daughter of Queen Andi, and I have been here since I was 6. I
Yup.
have to remember that. So I said I'm retired. My mom was like, yes, I am.
How you gonna retire?
I am. Because
Want you to retire
Because
to the
I
next,
can't.
to the
Because I
next
can't
case.
yet.
Ready to go. All right, pass it on to Dee. Dee, need to get closer.
Your chair is caught up in it.
oh no.
Oh, there we go.
All the protests, all the
There we
banners,
go.
all the rooms.
Now it's-
I'm done.
Okay,
It's your turn.
Dee, take it away, fam.
I'm D, and I'm a resident of Homefulness.
All right.
All right, D.
My name is Stacia. I'm kind of new to the Poor magazine crew, but happy to be a part of it and get more involved. I'm going to be working on a radio show with a couple other folks, so excited.
Welcome back.
My name is Phil, and I'm just happy to be able to use the word comrade.
Yeah, buddy.
Welcome, my brother.
My name is Kim. I'm from Berkeley, and I live in an RV.
All right.
All right. Welcome.
My name is Diallo. I live in Berkeley and I help with all the digital stuff.
Make it look good. Yeah.
Before we always have to do it.
Hi, I'm Juju. I am a mother of Zion and also a newer member of. I know it's been a while now, right? It's been at least a year. Been rolling talk. So I'm learning to be I'm on my way to be a poor a poor poet / journalist for Poor Mag.
I'm just
You.
as far as his position.
I'm just poets.
All right.
Nobody's as smart as me.
You're not gonna say your piece?
What for Queens?
Your phone not good with your name.
Oh, my Run DMC inspired one.
Come on.
I will not stop, I will not quit, because somewhere at the top, but I'm on the tip, and that's the highest to the top as you can get, and you best believe I'll be on it. So before you decide to try me out, I'm gonna let you all know what I'm all about. I'm a young lady who's on her way to be a revolutionary, the most to say, and all those out there who don't know me, I go by the name of Queen Andi.
Poor people, you can't drop the mic. When the mic breaks, I think we had to drop it once. We had to actually drop it. It's a ghetto ass mic, so it's fine. Hello, we're fine. It's all good.
Be careful, because it's the only one we got.
I know, right? Next time, make sure a pillow's on the ground. Right. It's all good. Okay. We had a no. You were so blown away by your piece.
The mic and the baby. Drop the mic and the baby.
We are the poverty scholars. That house's mama, that house's daughter. We are the poverty scholars. All the people you don't want to see, never want to be, look away from me. What you gonna do? Arrest me? We're in your city. Yeah, he knows. We are the poverty scholars. And I usually rock my jailhouse attire for all those folks watching and listening. Because me and my poor mama did the poverty crime and jail time. That's 3 months of Santa Rita for the so-called crime of being unhoused in these stolen holler. We are the Poverty Scholars, and I am the proud daughter of a melanin challenged daughter of a strong Afro-Boricua mama, for without whom there would be no me, a mama soltera, and a welfare queen.
All right.
I do want to call Mama D into the room as we start this day out, and Carol X and Mama Lori. And definitely Mama Lori lifting up our ancestors right now. It is that time when we're really close, when the veil is thin to the other side, and we have a powerful altar under the Declaration of Interdependence, because we don't practice the lie of independence, the separation nation. So we start out with just a real quick hit on this month's media. Myself and Dee actually had stories, as well as Mama Nandi, in this month's
Right on.
4 News Network. Mom Nandi is quickly and amazingly writing massive amounts of fabulous shit all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And we're behind in posting, actually, so Always Being Whipped Harder, Black Children, Harsher Punishment is a badass piece. The Baby is also trying to get it in, which I published there. As we know, we lost our beautiful sister, Lori, who we constantly are lifting up and holding and loving and missing. Lori.
Why aren't you using the mic?
A beautiful piece by
There we go.
a beautiful piece by Dee is in there, and as well, it's really powerful. And I also wrote a love-you-wary as opposed to obituary, so check it out. Check it out. But I wanted tonight. I don't think we have any special guests except our folks from Berkeley. So I wanted to make sure that we do right by our brothers and sisters from Berkeley, and just have them say a little bit, because that's how we a little bit about what is actually going on in what we would call
We're live streaming
crazy,
now.
stolen Ohlone LaShawn streets of Berkeley, where our sister Karina is also fighting for a shell mound, a 5,000-year-old sacred site, to not be turned into a parking lot and a condominium in a town that's supposedly conscious and progressive. So anyway, I call that hypocrisy. So we're going to start with a little bit of them talking about what's actually happening in Berkeley and the powerful work that they're resisting with, along with Amber and Jessica and all the cats out there. And then for other folks in the room, who, if anyone, has fresh news? I know I do. Anyone else has news stories they want to bring to the circle? They want to write about, talk about, speak about this month? Anybody else besides me? Okay, well, I'll be the only one then. If other folks get, well, you probably just talk about the last story that you did. That's what I would say too. But let's turn it first over to our guests to talk a little bit. Who wants to go, Kim or Phil first? Okay, hold the mic there. You guys are being all modest and shit. Just a little bit about where you at with it.
Well, I'm underneath the University Street Bridge, and there is where people who end up physically abused or physically abused children, they have to grow up, and normally they end up on the streets and in jail. And I have a hard time dealing with how physically traumatized that the people I live around with are, and to see it in how they react to each other. I mean, I didn't realize that I lived like 10 feet away from somebody who just tried to kill somebody with a bat, right? That's heavy. That's anger, right? When you're trying to kill somebody with a bat, that's anger that I haven't really been that angry. Although I like to, I say if I get next to that button, I'm diving for it. The button, the kill white button, kill all white people button. But they got one of those buttons somewhere. When I get near it,
yes.
I'm diving for it. But it's just in Berkeley is where child abusers are where they can live peacefully. And I have a hard time talking about it because it affects me so deeply. And I feel like that needs to get out there. The physical abuse of these kids and who's doing it. The people live right up the street. And I don't know. I don't know what I could do aside from maybe heal by speaking about it.
That's right.
And that's where I'm coming from.
Beautiful. Kim, you wanted to add any more? Can you add just a little bit about the stuff you've been on with City Hall? Just a little?
I haven't been to,
You haven't. You can't. Just a little.
I personally haven't been to any meetings recently because Amber and Yeska are so busy, and there's so many different meetings and different committees that Amber's on that, and then I have a life as well, which isn't much, but I have a husband that works and I have 2 dogs, so and I live in an RV, and we're fortunate that where we're at, the business owners are cool with us. You know, they know we keep our stuff tight, we keep it neat, we got no garbage. I mean, I pick up the dog poop every day. They see us doing things, and there's no clutter at all, which we try our best not to do. That doesn't say that the inside of the RV is not cleared, but outside looks good. And just trying to please everybody. You know, trying to please the police, trying to please the people driving by who have to stare all the time and then drive around like we're a zoo, the animals in a zoo, and there's nothing to see here. You know, we're just like you, but we're in an RV, and it may not have electricity, you know, but we've got a stove, and we eat, we have flashlights, we've got batteries. You know, it's okay. You know, I complain about it to my husband, but I am blessed that we were able to have it, and it's a roof over my head, and I call it home. And it's unfortunate we have a dog that's a geriatric dog.
I just have a quick question. How's the collective came to be? Just one day meeting people next that live.
Oh, the community?
Yeah, how the community and the collective.
Well, what happened was we lived on just we still live on 2nd and Jones, and then on 2nd Street there was like just massive tents all the way down, and massive. I don't want to say garbage because saying someone's junk is or someone's garbage is someone else's treasure or whatever, but massive rats, massive smells, massive needles everywhere. I mean, it got so bad that you couldn't literally. I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, it just got. We decided to, I guess, make a bin for garbage. They wouldn't empty the garbage for months, and so there would be, all over the place, rats everywhere at nighttime. Anyway, so they did they posted a sign on the wall with tape, the city, and it said, effective Friday, which was maybe it was Wednesday. Everybody must vacate. You're here to vacate. Then they give all the people the RV red tags. So we had 3 days, and then they came out. You have 3 days, right? Yeah, we know. Okay, so don't come back. We know we have 3 days. And we didn't know where to go. And I said, what are we gonna do now? I don't like. I consider myself a middle class person. We came from a house. I had a job. I have, all these things, all these material things. But living out out there is very scary. I don't really sleep nights anymore because I'm always afraid either the police or someone else are going to bust in the door in the middle of the night. So I'm up all the time until the sun comes up, and then I sleep from like maybe 5:30 to 9, and then I get up and start my day, and that's only because I literally pass out. Anyway, so we got to leave, and I said, where are we going to go? What are we going to do? And I said, well, check all. We had been saying, look at the RVs in the A6 Lordship. What do they think they're doing? What do they do at the marina? How come they get to stay there? What's going on? We're not going to go. What do they think they are? We go to the bathroom, and who do they think they are? And then all of a sudden, I found myself not having anywhere to go. And I said, well, let's go check it out. So we drove over there. Oh, my goodness, it was people we knew, people we didn't know. Amber, Yeska, open arms. We still had the people driving around, but it was like I finally got some rest. A good night's sleep. I was really waking up with not aches and pains, or just I slept really good because I was in the community now, and there was it was safe. We had kids there. We had barbecues. We had lots of normal things. It was great, and that's what I need. I need to be. Even though I'm in a mobile home, I don't want to be a mobile person. I don't like to move. I don't like change. I like to entertain. I like to have whatever. And I want that. in my area, but you can't have tables, you can't have chairs, you can't have plants, you can't have this, you can't have that. You know, everywhere you go. Yeah, exactly. You know, and believe, like I said, we're very fortunate in the area that we're at. Now that we're back from His Lordship, back to where we were before, and we haven't had any problems. The police haven't even said one word to us other than "How you doing? Good morning." But then the next step is you wake up in the morning and there's 25 other people there. And that's when this problem starts. Because when you have a small group of people, you can be a community yourself, a small community. And when you get other people, they don't. I ain't gonna do what you say. I'm not gonna keep myself clean. I want to, you know, they don't want to. I don't want to say I don't want to say be phony because in order to be in a society, whether you're homeless or you're not homeless, you gotta have manners. Right. You gotta be hospitable. You have to have, you know, respect for people regardless. I mean, you know, what is it? Do unto others as they do unto you? I mean, if you want to be treated, you know, I mean, it's just such a. One thing about being on here is very people are helpful, but not helpful. You know what I mean? It's like they want to help you to a certain point. I've been so many incidents where I've helped people, and it's like it just slapped in the face, you know, and it's like, I don't know. Anyway, I've said enough.
So wait, Dee had a question for them, huh?
Not a question, a comment.
Okay.
What you just said. Everything that you just said about your living situation has all the makings of a Poe magazine store.
Mm-hmm.
Same goes for, what's your name? Philip.
Thank you.
Yeah. And you want to add anything?
Well, you know, no, I was saying, you know, I have a husband that my other half works. We're not legally married, but we've been together 20 plus years. Hello.
Y'all married.
We're married. So I'll tell you this: if we knock on wood, that he doesn't get hit by a bus, but you know, Social Security, I can't claim Social Security unless we're married illegally for 10 years. So I've been trying to get him to, you know, tie the knot. Yeah, you could be with a person for 100 years, and on paper, unless you're legally married, you don't get jack. So if we want, like I said, and I even said to him this, I don't want to be morbid or anything. You love me, right? Yeah, he goes, we might as well just do it, you know. And I go, but I don't want to be, you know. Yeah, I guess we could. He goes, the biggest sigh in the world, like a little death row. You know what I mean? I guess we can, you know. And I'm like, okay, well, forget that then. But you know, so we're probably gonna get married soon. I don't know when, but and that's just because to secure both of us. I mean, be for real. We spent all this time in our relationship. And for one of us, you know, either goes both ways. If something were to happen, for instance, I had a heart attack out here, I got congestive heart failure, I got slight emphysema, I got all these things out here. You know, I was diagnosed with all this stuff out here. I've been out here for almost going on 5 years, and you know, I'm overweight. I'm depressed all the time. I cry all the time. I go to job interviews. I can't even leave the room without them saying, you know, well, tell us a little about yourself. And I start thinking, what do I do? Do I tell the truth? Do I lie? You know, you know. And then it's like, okay, you know what? Forget it. Thank you for the opportunity. I walk out and go, well, that was, you know, I mean, it's like a normal thing now for me to just be, you know, to not try anymore. So being without what you used to have, it does a lot of mental things too. It's like you don't. A lot of people out here lose their dignity. They lose everything. Some of the things I've seen, I can't even say. Some of the things I've heard, I can't say. But I just don't understand how people can go so far from just being, you know, respectful to each other, because there's a lot of disrespect out there amongst each other.
For real.
And we should help each other, not be against each other. We're all in the same spot. Thank you. Thank you very much.
I have something to say that I feel like needs to be heard. As far as the needles and stuff that are laying around. Leroy and Latanya do not fly over to Afghanistan and bring back heroin.
Yes, thank you.
That's all I
Right?
have to say.
Right?
What does that mean? No, can you elaborate?
Wait, and so what I just wanted to say something because that's deep. Thank you for that, both of you.
I was gonna watch.
Say something too, though, so people understand. Because there's a lot, maybe people watching, listening, who don't know the history of the fight that folks in RVs and on the street in Berkeley are dealing with.
Yeah.
So I just want to really quickly talk for Amber and Jessica because I know that you may not have the same frame, but a lot of the beautiful cats that walk with Phil, that are comrades with Phil and Kim, are going into those politicsture halls every week with our powerful Ocean Newman, stepdad of Diallo, who is, you know, a badass revolutionary lawyer for the people, trying to get those lying politricksters to actually do what they pretend to say to do. Cheryl Davila is the only one that stands up. If you're watching or listening, we love you. But what I want to say about that is that last week, because the harassment is always there, the omnipresent harassment. So last week, Amber reported to Ruthless Radio, which is one of our radio projects, where us poor folks talk for ourselves, and we do poor people-led research. We call it research. She did a research report on how they just put on a new Department of Parking and Traffic enforcer who came down to where folks are parked, and literally is there trying to say now that folks have to move their car, that they can't leave their vehicles there overnight. Now, everybody may or may not know this, but in the lying, stolen state of Califas Aslan and all of Turtle Island, stolen Turtle Island, they have 130 laws on the books in this state alone that criminalizes folks for the sole act of not having access to a roof. So I just want to put that out so that people understand within the framework of this settler colonial lie about public versus private land, that is what our folks in Berkeley are dealing with. So that's why folks like Amber and Jessica are always doing all those meetings.
And then the other law I know we're trying to do something about is the between the hours of I think what is it
11 p.m.
No, 2 a.m. 2 a.m. and 5 a.m. Between 2 and 5 a.m. No, they say recreational vehicles or vehicles, and they give a length, dimensions.
Crazy amount of space.
A large truck,
Yeah.
like FedEx and all those big rigs and all that stuff, because they leave their trailers there as well.
Right.
Then you can't be parked for more than an hour. So between 2 and 5, we're driving around because you can't park, and that's crime time.
Exactly.
You know?
Thank you. And what kind of hypocrisy is that BS? So I just want to put that out for
With
people.
a husband that works in the morning, who has to be there, and we're driving around until 5, and then, sleep until 9, and then, I mean, it's just...
It's crazy.
So I just want to give it up and love for Phil and Kim who came out to Homefulness tonight. Give them some love, serious love. We hope they continue to write with us. We know they will. We hope they will, and we're trying to help them build their own homefulness story. For anybody listening or watching, we're specifically asking for folks with liberated Ohlone, LaShawn land in Berkeley to redistribute it so that they can build their own homefulness. Straight up. I'm going to the Pioneers Conference, which I hear tell there's some folks who are interested in redistributing, and I will be talking about that, and we are determined to get y'all some spots for us landless peoples to be able to build what you need to.
I might have a little bit of news that brought to my attention something. There's supposed to be some kind of meeting with Richmond and Amber and I think Jessica, and I was asked to go, but I'm not sure if anything happened or not. And it was, I guess, getting together with a representative from Richmond and discussing, I guess, possible land or I'm not sure where, when, how, what. Or I think we're supposed to look, but I don't know if it even happened. But that is something that's news. A lot of us didn't want to leave Berkeley because a lot of people, have ties there. My husband works there, but as long as it's close, and I don't want to be left alone someplace far away while he's working by myself in the RV. Right. But that's something good.
That's beautiful. That's what's up. Okay, so anybody else has any other fresh news or stories that they want to talk about? I know we're running out of time, and I want to make sure that we deal with a couple things. So there's two things I want to talk about. This is the Stolen Land Hoarded Resources Tour. We call it the Stolen Land Hoarded Resources Redistribution, Decolonization, and Community Reparations Tour. It's our second year back in Oakland. We've been all across the country, all across this stolen land. I'm hoping everybody in this room will be there. All of our youth scholars will be there. But basically, it's not a protest. It's not a march. We basically go into these wealth hoarding neighborhoods, and we specifically offer the medicine of redistribution. And they have a sickness too. The sickness is, basically hoarding more than they need, because these folks have way more than they need to live and survive and keep their families alive. My story is about this Dunkin' Donut thing. I don't know if anybody heard about it, but it happens all the time. We already know that when houseless folks, a lot of times we don't have the privilege of privacy. And Kim put it really beautifully. Even the idea that because, we are outside, we're judged for having mess. think about all the people who have homes who have a mess. Ain't nobody going in their house like, oh, your shit is really messy. I mean, you know what I mean? But because we're outside, we don't have the privilege of privacy. And I just want to have people sit with that for a minute, because that's deep as you know what. But because we're exposed, is there's a cost to keeping housing, and people believe that you should buy and sell Mother Earth. A lot of us are outside. So anyway, a lot of times we'll go into these fast food restaurants. We'll try to sit there and stay warm for a minute. I speak from experience. Me and my mom used to hide out in Burger King. That was the only place that we could actually, in LA, in Venice Beach, that we could go and they wouldn't call the police on us. Then there was a new manager who took over. And the first thing he did when he took over his job was to go over and tell me and my mom and this other poor houseless elder that we needed to leave. Like that was his job, to kick out the homeless people. Anyway, I'll never forget that moment because I was 12 and I was so ashamed. It happened right when all the kids were getting out of school, and I had to drop out of institutional schools at that point and enroll full-time in School of Hard Knocks. So I was not in school. I was just there helping my mama live by any means necessary as poor people. It is what it is. I'm not ashamed of that, and I'm proud I could have done it. That said, I had to walk past all those teenagers, and all of them were laughing at me and my mom. I'll never forget that horrible moment. It is what it is. That's what teenagers do. I know that. But as a 12-year-old at the time, yeah, that was some violence, right? That said, this a lot more videos have been coming out lately about these brutalities that happen to houseless folks. I don't think our sound will be on, but I just want to show people.
Yeah,
So basically, this Dunkin' Donut, which I've sat in Dunkin' many a time. Wind chills was my poison, but basically what they did is threw water at this houseless person, and I think, yeah, here we go.
The speakers are plugged
It
in.
is worth his Starbucks.
Yeah, here, Naughty.
When they do, we had no, I worked at FedEx.
May not let us look at it, but we'll see. Maybe it will.
Here we go.
I don't work in no more.
That's fucked up.
Right?
We already got fired.
Wow.
Got it on his phone. It's at nighttime.
Yeah, you're right. And what's he gonna do now with a wet jacket outside?
It's
Right.
probably cold as hell.
There's no
Right.
need for that.
Is she saying good stuff or bad stuff? I mean, she said she with the guy or
Well,
That's
she
a
was actually upset
Oh.
about it.
it's a protest?
Really?
Yeah.
You guys are gatekeeper, man.
I didn't see.
I don't think it makes some. Just again, probably making minimum wage. Just one of our own folks.
You lucky he ain't fight him.
Mm-hmm.
No, really don't.
Because I know a couple of them that cut your butt.
Right, especially if you're sleeping and you're waking up like that.
Especially if you wake them out
That's what
while
the
the
cops
wrong
do.
kind of sleep.
Mm-hmm. That's the new thing too that we got rid of. Well, in Oakland,
And
that's
people-
what they do. They wake up and then when they're, oh, he's going crazy. And so these guys are trying to wake up and they shoot you down.
And people actually protested, which was what was beautiful, because generally this shit happens all the freaking time,
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
and nobody
It's a
cares,
different cord
right?
anyway.
But these folks actually turned out and
You
be
need a
like,
cord
oh
from
hell,
here.
That wasn't even doing nothing. Like,
Right.
not even looking at him.
right?
Right.
Exactly.
But when I used
We
to
don't
work
have
at
it right
stores,
now,
they used to put like needles inside the toilets.
We just gotta always make sure.
No, he was just gone
We
with it.
still could.
Exactly. So all that to say, I just want to bring that up because I think that the key part about this story is that people don't actually ever speak up for folks when that kind of
Right.
stuff happens.
Right.
And I think that the key part with that is to recognize that, you know, Yeah. right. And the other thing is that
What city is this?
I think it was in Detroit actually. Yeah. And
They all got sweaters on, so it must be cold. And it's
Yeah.
hot.
It's very cold. But you know
Yeah,
what?
imagine he just threw water on him.
I know.
Donnie, I'm losing cohesion.
And then go outside in the cold weather.
Either close it off or you gotta keep talking in the speaker.
Hello? Oh, yeah. So, sorry. So the other thing to point out about this too, though, I just want to put out to my fellow, poverty scholars, that again, sometimes really all it means is us speaking up for folks because,
Right.
sometimes we practice the violent act of looking away, which
Right.
I teach on, because it's too much for us to even deal with it. But every time I've ever talked back to some of these folks, you know, it does, they get embarrassed. They don't expect. I'm going to show you again, Zion, if you want to see. It's nothing to like happily see, but I'll just show you in case you didn't see it. I think it's going to come on again.
He startled him. How startled he got.
Don't look at
Right. He's sleeping. You saw it.
Not only that, but like he was what was filming, they're on it too.
Yeah,
They're like waiting, like okay, I'm filming now.
Right.
Now it was two of them.
That's true.
There's
That's
a
true.
complex in there,
That's
man.
true.
That's hella shady.
That's true. I didn't even think about that. That's hella wrong. You're
No,
totally
you look
right.
like okay, are you ready?
Yeah, right. Because I'm about to put this on Facebook.
Wait, don't
Right?
It's
It's
too
so
messed up
sick.
people.
That might be a video of.
So,
I don't know. They might be. I didn't think about that, but also might be like. But I don't think so because it kept wiggling so much. But it might be because they have like track.
oh yeah.
That was a phone.
Surveillance
That was a
video.
phone.
So I think so.
Yeah, but that's a phone because the camera's moving like so much.
That's true. The last thing that I want to say, I know, right? The last thing that I want to say is that next week we're going to begin our research investigation with the youth scholars on the water gangsters. Yeah, we do call them that. The Department of Water and Power thinks they own Mama Earth's resources and then turns around and charges us $10,000 for each water meter. We're trying to actually build, as poor people build these houses, and we're doing it by the book, which is a nightmare.
Oh my God.
And they hit us with new permits all the time. $8,000 just for the permission to put in 8 toilets. Not the toilets, not the sewer, but the piece of paper that said we could put them in. So the new one is, they used to charge $6,000 for water meters. They arbitrarily raised it to $10,000 because in the Department of Water, Power in Oakland, it's like, oh boy network, the hand decides what happens to the arm. It's like there's no external body that oversees it, right? So we gotta walk up in there. We're gonna pay him a little visit and uncover that ish. Anyway, okay, so we're probably done for tonight unless there's any last announcements before we close.
Just October 23rd is my birthday. Just keep me
He's having a party up in here.
keep me in your thoughts.
Party
That's all.
down for
Wait, party with